You are Neanderthal. You lose rock. You lose stick. You even lose mammoth sometimes. But one day, modern humans lose something much bigger. They lose an entire airplane, and nobody can explain where it went. You watch modern humans build enormous cities. They create machines that fly above clouds. They send signals around the planet in seconds. They place satellites in space and claim they can see almost everything. Modern humans are very confident creatures. They believe technology can answer every question. They believe every movement leaves a trail. They believe every mystery eventually becomes a solved puzzle. Then flight MH370 disappears. On the night of March 8, 2014, a Malaysia Airlines Boeing 777 departs Kuala Lumpur bound for Beijing. On board are 239 people. Some are sleeping, some are watching movies, some are reading, some are thinking about family waiting at their destination. To everyone involved, it seems like a normal flight. The aircraft climbs into the darkness. The crew communicates with air traffic controllers. The engines perform normally. Everything appears routine. Then the mystery begins. Shortly after leaving Malaysian airspace, the aircraft sends its final routine message. Nothing sounds unusual. Nothing sounds alarming. Then communication stops. No distress call follows. No emergency code appears. No warning is transmitted. The giant metal bird simply vanishes. You stare at the sky. Even in your cave days, losing something this large would be impressive. At first, investigators assume the problem will be solved quickly. Perhaps there was a communications failure. Perhaps the aircraft landed unexpectedly. Perhaps radar systems lost track temporarily. Hours pass. Nothing. Days pass. Nothing. Weeks pass. Still nothing. The world becomes fascinated. News networks provide constant updates. Aviation experts discuss theories. Families wait desperately for answers. Governments begin coordinating search efforts across multiple countries. Ships move into position. Aircraft scan enormous stretches of ocean. Satellite operators review old data, looking for overlooked clues. Everyone expects the breakthrough to arrive soon. It never does. Then investigators uncover a crucial clue. Military radar data suggests MH370 did not continue toward Beijing. Instead, the aircraft appears to turn around. It crosses back over Malaysia. Then it heads toward the open ocean. Suddenly, the mystery becomes far more complicated. You are no longer searching along a planned flight path. You are searching across one of the largest and most remote regions on Earth. Investigators begin examining every possibility. Could there have been a mechanical failure? Could a fire have damaged critical systems? Could the crew have become incapacitated? Could someone have deliberately changed the aircraft's course? Every theory explains part of the story. None explains all of it. That is when one of the most remarkable investigations in aviation history begins. The key evidence does not come from radar. It comes from satellites. The aircraft had been communicating automatically with a satellite network operated by Inmarsat. These communications were not normal conversations. They were tiny electronic handshakes, small signals exchanged automatically between systems. Most people would never notice them. Investigators notice them immediately. Engineers begin analyzing the data in extraordinary detail. The signals contain information about timing and frequency shifts. Those measurements allow researchers to estimate possible routes the aircraft may have traveled. The calculations are incredibly complex, yet they reveal something important. The aircraft likely continued flying for many hours after disappearing from civilian radar. You pause for a moment. An airplane vanishing is already strange. An airplane vanishing and continuing to fly for hours is stranger still. The analysis points toward the southern Indian Ocean. You look at a map. The area is enormous. There are no cities. Few ships pass through. The ocean stretches beyond the horizon in every direction. If you wanted to hide an airplane, you could hardly choose a more remote place. The search shifts south. What follows becomes one of the largest and most expensive search operations ever conducted. Ships equipped with advanced sonar systems begin mapping the seafloor. Aircraft search vast regions of ocean. Experts examine underwater mountains, deep trenches, and terrain never previously explored in detail. The search covers thousands upon thousands of square kilometers. Months become years, still nothing. You begin wondering whether the ocean itself is protecting the answer. The deeper investigators look, the more difficult the mystery becomes. Then independent researchers start contributing new ideas. One of them is Richard Godfrey. Godfrey develops theories involving weak radio signals that may have interacted with the aircraft during its journey. His analysis attempts to identify a more precise location for the final crash site. Some experts support aspects of his work, others remain skeptical. Yet his research keeps the discussion alive and generates new possibilities. Another important figure is Charitha Patiarachi. As an oceanographer, Patiarachi studies currents throughout the Indian Ocean. His work focuses on how floating debris moves across vast distances. By understanding ocean circulation, he helps explain how aircraft fragments might travel thousands of kilometers from their original location. His research becomes extremely valuable. If debris can reveal where it came from, perhaps it can reveal where the aircraft ended its journey. Then there is Larry Vance. The former Canadian air crash investigator examines recovered debris and proposes that the aircraft may have entered the water in a relatively controlled manner. His interpretation remains controversial. Other investigators disagree. Yet his conclusions highlight an important truth. Even experts looking at the same evidence can reach different answers. That is the challenge of MH370. The mystery contains evidence, but not enough evidence. Questions continue multiplying. Then, more than a year after the disappearance, a breakthrough finally arrives. A piece of aircraft wreckage washes ashore on Réunion Island. Investigators examine it carefully. The fragment is identified as a flaperon from MH370. For the first time, physical evidence confirms what many suspected. The aircraft reached the Indian Ocean. The discovery is significant. It proves the airplane did not simply disappear into thin air, but it does not solve the mystery. Additional debris is later found along coastlines in Mozambique, Tanzania, South Africa, and nearby islands. Ocean currents appear to support the idea that wreckage drifted westward from a crash site somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. Each discovery provides another clue. Each clue raises another question. You know where some pieces traveled. You still do not know exactly where the aircraft rests. You still do not know what happened during its final hours. The families of the passengers and crew face a particularly painful reality. Most tragedies eventually produce answers. Investigators find wreckage. Data recorders are recovered. Causes are identified. Lessons are learned. MH370 refuses to follow that pattern. The uncertainty continues year after year. Some families hope the wreckage will be discovered tomorrow. Others fear it may never be found at all. Search efforts are suspended, then revived. New technologies emerge, fresh analyses are published. Alternative search locations are proposed. The mystery remains alive. Researchers continue studying satellite communications. Oceanographers continue modeling currents. Aviation experts continue debating potential scenarios. Entire books are written. Documentaries are produced. Countless hours of analysis are devoted to understanding what happened. Yet the final answer remains hidden, somewhere beneath the sea. Perhaps future technology will solve the mystery. Perhaps autonomous underwater vehicles will eventually locate the wreckage. Perhaps the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder will finally be recovered. If that happens, many of the unanswered questions may disappear overnight. Until then, MH370 occupies a unique place in aviation history. It is not simply a missing airplane. It is a reminder of the limits of human knowledge. Modern humans often believe they understand their world completely. They build satellites, they build computers, they build aircraft capable of crossing continents. Yet, sometimes reality presents a question that refuses to be answered. MH370 became that question. More than a decade has passed since the aircraft vanished into the night. The mystery still captures attention because it challenges a basic assumption. The assumption that modern technology can explain everything. Thanks for watching Mark's Cave Stories. If you enjoyed this mystery, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another fascinating story. Until next time, keep questioning the unknown, because sometimes the greatest mysteries are the ones that are still waiting to be solved.